on? Hello World Repair back again. Today we're expecting a laptop to come in with a little bit of a security issue. Apparently the owner is having issues where they suspect someone is trying to log in with remote access software to gain control of the machine. For what purpose is unknown, but neither is it known exactly how that software might have ended up on the machine. My suspicion is that it might have had something to do with a phone call scam, something like you might see on Kitboga. Hard to say for sure, but when we get the machine here, we'll assess the damage, whether or not the install is salvageable. And yeah, we'll make a determination whether or not we should wipe the machine and give it a fresh start or repair the damage. So check us out after the cut. All right. Here we are. Nice little ASUS laptop. I got the spec sheet here looking like a i5-7200U. 256 gig SATA SSD. Overall, relatively modern. Relatively good condition machine physically. So again, after talking to the customer client, however you'd like to say it, it seems like, yeah, what was going on is the owner was trying to get some recipes for cooking and ended up downloading Log Me and Rescue or something like that. And yeah, getting their system probably remote accessed in a whole bunch of different ways. This is very common. It's very common for phishing sites, as they're called, to try to set up in places where they suspect the most likely victims to be. So this will be elderly people, people who are looking for things like cooking recipes or knitting recipes or these sorts of things, as most people who are looking for these things are not extremely tech savvy. So it's always important when dealing with people who are not extremely tech savvy to try and let them know that they're going to be targeted for these sorts of things. But a lot of the times, the actual avenue that they're using to get to these people who don't really know any better, are going to be through advertisements. So there are ways that we can block as many of those and make the web browsing experience as secure as possible. You know, a lot of people aren't sold that ad blocking is a good thing, and there's good reasons why it isn't, of course. It takes revenue away from people like me who are trying to make YouTube videos. But at the end of the day, when it comes to the security of machines for people who are just using it for Facebook or for cooking recipes or that sort of thing, you know, just basic use, really recommended for you to make sure these people have good security in their web browsers, because they're not going to know any better. So I'm going to try and make sure that when we do get this machine up and running again, that it's got good, a good set of plugins for the web browser to try and prevent this sort of problem from happening again. So now I'm also starting to think that it might be not quite right in the driver department, judging by the fact that I can't get video out of the machine. Bodge standard install. Not a whole lot going on in here, so that's great. Which is starting to look that way. All we have here is the downloads folder. There's some possibly important PDFs in here, from what I can see. Alright, so yeah, I think I will wipe this machine, and we'll start fresh. That way we can be absolutely sure that we got the problem. And that might, maybe, yay, have kicked over the HDMI. Excellent. So, now I can show you what's going on for real. Now that's excellent. So as you can see, right, there was a bit of a display driver issue, clearly. Maybe it's just an old version or something was wrong in any case, and now we have proper HDMI output, which is excellent. Alright, so continuing to work here. Let's see. First things first, we're going to want to do a few little things you've seen me do before. Where we get rid of the Cortana button. Alright, so we've got some important tools here. The MV Clean install is my go-to for NVIDIA drivers. This machine not having a dedicated GPU is not going to need that. Shut up 10. This is let's see. Do not notify when my changes to Windows settings. Okay. You don't need the full UAC, open shell. Again, a nice user interface change. I typically opt out of Classic Explorer and Classic IE. Good tools for some people. Kind of clashing as I like to use the dark Windows mode, and those elements always stay white. So therefore, we keep it off. This is my script for getting rid of Windows bloat. That'll be important to run. And yeah, shut up 10. This is good for getting rid of additional Windows settings that send data back to Microsoft that are necessary for the machine's function. So we'll run that real quick. One other tool that I meant to have that it looks like I don't actually, so I'll throw that on. I'll go grab it for you guys. Called Harden Tools, again for users who have undergone a some sort of security breach. Good little piece of software to make sure that anything that might end up on the machine in the future doesn't have much of a chance to do any damage. Yeah, we'll restart in a minute here. Some additional little things to do right in here. Turn off our animations. Turn off our fades. And turn off our slide. Alright. That. Username. I always like to make this representative of the machine. So this is an X541U ASUS. Or PC or laptop. That's what we'll go with. Laptop. Typically that's a little complicated though, actually, now I think about it. No reason I would use the model if it were my own, but I think make it ASUS laptop. There we go. Keep it simple. Start later. Okay. That's the basics there. Next we need to personalize a little bit. Change to a solid color. Black is fine. Maybe a gray. I don't know. There are no wrong answers. I like gray. Gray is good. Easy on the eyes. Next thing, colors. Default color blue is fine. But we'll switch on over to black. And yeah. That on. Excellent. Themes. I personally like using the black color scheme. I'll set that. Yep, pretty much all we need to do there. Taskbar. We're gonna want change some system icons here. Oops. This isn't where I wanted to be, but we can check this out. Carbon, you're not gonna get in the box, man. He really wants to squish his head into this laptop box. You're not gonna fit, dude. Oops. Okay. Now we need to choose which icons appear on the taskbar. And of course, we want all of them. Oh man, you're so silly. Okay, next we're gonna need to install all of the Visual C++ runtimes. Dependencies for a lot of programs. It can be real annoying to try to launch something and get a DLL error for one of these packages here. So just to ensure that never happens for clients, I install all of them. Nice simple way to avoid getting a call back in the future, asking why why things that used to work before don't work anymore. Usually it's just something like this, a dependency of some kind that's missing. Chances are this machine never had these to begin with, but there are a lot of programs out there that make use of Visual C++, so having the redistributables pre-installed is a good touch. Could save myself a lot of effort by turning off UAC, but that's okay. Again, most users, yes, UAC off. In this case, again, I know who this is going to, so UAC on is a good idea. This is for monitoring temperatures. We'll take a look at that. My guess is that this machine is running A-OK. Yeah. Old habits. I'm going to try and get rid of UAC. I don't want to. Okay, yeah, there's always an update. We don't care. Yeah. So our temperatures are in the 40s and 60s at most. Or distance to TJ Maxx is in the 60s. Yep, so this machine is A-OK in the cooling department. Basic crap uninstaller. Don't need that. So we're just going to need to run Ninite. This will grab a few more dependencies, a few more basic programs that it's good to have. Yeah, so just going to grab some open source Java, Notepad++, Qubit torrent. These two probably not super important for this machine to have, but meh. Also not going to hurt anything being here. VLC, definitely a good thing to have. Best video player on the planet. Let it do its thing. This is the last thing to go here. TeamViewer, again, for helping customers or clients, whatever you want to call them, after the machine has gone out the door, if for whatever reason there is an issue. Okay, now we'll just run our Windows batch file that will rip out all of the garbage. The things no one uses. Get rid of OneDrive. There it goes. Excellent. I'm right where it would be. No more OneDrive. Good. Alright, quick reboot of Explorer. And that is it. Whole bunch of garbage gets ripped out. Start menu's a lot cleaner now. Excellent. And this batch file doesn't need to be here anymore. Done! Now, I also made sure that my Ninite there didn't have any sort of web browser. Need programs. Oops, not run. Programs. Get rid of that Skype for Business. Ah, yes, I think it's only in the settings menu. Apps. And yeah, we're going to need to get rid of Skype for Business. Oh, they don't let you anymore. Oh, excellent. Okay, well, Oh, Microsoft. Okay. Yeah, just need a web browser, so we'll get Edge going. Head on over to Night again. And go grab Chrome. I think that's all this machine will really need. Yeah. Okay. I like Night for getting installers for those programs, no matter what, just because there's no clicks, no bullshit, no automatic opt-out of any possible bad settings. It's just, they're the best, man. What can I say? They're the best, man. Oh, of course, we'll have to set our default programs. Ah, VLC is already taken over. That's great. Just that. And for photos, I rip out the default photos with that script I run, because Paint 3D can honestly do the same stuff. In the meantime, we'll head on over to the Chrome Web Store. Take off that caps lock now. Set up our web browser. So we're going to need some ad protection. Do ad guard, ad block plus, whatever tickles your fancy. Just regular ad block, whatever you want. I like ad guard. No particular reason. Just seems like it's relatively light. We're going to want Ghostery. Similar thing, except it takes care of a little bit more trackers and that sort of thing. I don't know, I actually don't remember what my equivalent for HTTPS everywhere. There it is. Yes, the one. Okay. Also close Edge right about now. Done with you. Always. Yes, go away. Yep, we're done here. That's good. I'm going to have to go back in there again after Windows updates. Microsoft being Microsoft. Bastards. AdGuard, Ghostery, and that. Yeah, that's pretty much it. There's a few other nice quality of life plugins, for people who use a lot of YouTube. I hate to recommend it, but Sponsor Block. Real good. Real good. All we want there. I hate to say it, but pretty much all of these blocking plugins, but essential trackers. That way we don't have any issues with websites. There's almost always like an opt-in, like send us your data thing, and doesn't that completely defeat the point of privacy plugins? I don't know. I understand you guys need to, work on your filters and whatever, but yeah, just seems a little counterintuitive. Okay, we got HTTPS everywhere. Yeah, and there's just one other real big one. Sponsor Block. Again, it's kind of scummy, but YouTube videos are pretty much unwatchable for me these days with all of the sponsor segments. It's like 2 or 3 in every video. I understand why. It's because people use ad block, so now people are using sponsor block, and it's making it just harder and harder. But the thing about sponsors is they're prepaid. People don't really care if you watch the sponsorships, I guess. Those analytics are private, so it's a nice hopefully where the train comes to an end for having to feel bad, I suppose. Complete blackout theme for Chrome. Yeah, and there we are. So now this should be fairly well protected from getting compromised again. One more thing we need. Hardened tools. Yeah, I got it. From Security Without Borders. Excellent. I forget where the download is on this guy. Build passing. It is not an antivirus. No, it is not. Here we are, hardened tools. Build this on my flash drive when we're done with it. Yes, I would like admin privileges. It's a real simple program. All it does is it basically changes settings and yeah, makes it harder for... So yeah, it's designed to disable, and I'll just read it. Disable a number of features exposed by Microsoft Windows and is primarily a consumer application. These features commonly, though thought for enterprise customers, are generally useless for regular users and rather pose a danger, as they are very commonly abused by attackers to execute malicious code on a victim's computer. So yeah, it just basically turns off certain things that, you know, aren't really necessary for general people, but can really, really hurt a machine. So yeah. Just turn that stuff off. Done. So yeah, takes care of risky features. Saves me a lot of time. So yes, I meant to throw this on my flash drive. Gonna need my flash drive hooked up to do that. There it is. This time. Always does. Throw that in our tools. Yep, hardened tools. Excellent. Alright. We always safely eject our hard drive by pulling it from the computer. Alright, now it's just a bunch of updates. Excellent. Yeah, really nothing to adjust in here. Alright, well, I think I'll end it here, actually. I could keep you guys here for the very exciting process of installing the rest of Windows updates and then, you know, rerunning the security tools to make sure that none of those settings got changed, but I think that you can figure out what's going to happen there. So, in this case, what we had was a security issue where some sort of remote access software was still running in the background of the machine. Unfortunately, I didn't identify that when I took my initial look, although, as I said, I suspect it was a plugin within the web browser, maybe Chrome Remote Desktop. There are many out there that it could have been. That because I didn't really see anything on the machine that looked to be a remote access software, but I didn't look that closely either because the system didn't really have any important pieces of software or documents or files that needed to be saved, which meant it was as easy as wiping the machine, installing a good security regimen with the right tools, and we're good to go. Also, we had that issue with the HDMI port not working, again, I think due to a very out-of-date driver. That was taken care of by Windows Update with the fresh install, and yeah, that's pretty much all she wrote on this one. Like I said, you know, if the machine was in a bit of a different circumstance with specialized software that the license keys have long since disappeared for, or a bunch of important documents, we simply would have backed up the documents if that were the case, or if we had programs that we couldn't format the drive because we had to save. In that case, we'd have to knuckle down and, you know, do whatever we can to pull out whatever that intrusion was. I probably would have done a full user account wipe, right? Make a new user account, carry over the installed software that we need over to that account, and basically get rid of everything else. And then basically try and run the exact same tools while also doing some virus scans with something like Malwarebytes and Windows Defender to just be sure that there's really nothing left behind. But yeah, with a fresh install, obviously none of that's necessary, and it is the quickest and easiest way to get our user back to a comfortable spot. So yeah, thanks again for tuning into this one. It was a quick one, but yeah, hopefully you guys got something out of this one. Have a good day. I'll see you next time.